clap? Should I not clap? J-Mac, do I clap?
All right.
Do I clap?
Keep clapping.
Come on, keep clapping, everybody.
Yeah.
If you're at home, just clap.
Now C's clapping.
Now C's clapping. If you're at home, C's clapping. Don't try this at home. Okay, this is Stupid for Movies. I am Mark Kaiser. He is
Wade Major.
Okay, here's what happened. So Wade and I, we've been telling you that we were signed to do a bunch of audio commentaries for Vanguard Cinema DVDs.
Yes.
So here's what happens.
We've knocked one out.
Clap. J-Mac clapping. Somebody's clapping. Nobody's clapping. Nobody cares. So what happens is Wade comes over to my palatial condo. And when I say palatial, I mean rat trap. But the thing is that I have a TV room that's like whisper quiet and is perfect for recording a audio commentary. Is that not right?
It is.
And the movie we did was?
It's like the Cone of Silence.
It is.
Yes.
So the movie we did was?
Carcasses.
Yes.
Very cool French-Canadian film.
Yes. So Wade sets up his little super technological Mac thing that he does to record everything. He's got the mics, he's got the thing, the mixer, the computer, it's all figured out. So I put the DVD into my PlayStation 3, right? Now, they sent us the DVD that has time code so that Wade can sync up his recording with the time code in the film so that we're constantly talking about, the same thing when it happens. So I put it in there, and within about 17 seconds, the fan on my PlayStation 3 starts to just blast. There is something, my PlayStation 3 is overheating, and I know we can hear it. And the one thing you never hear when you do an audio commentary is you never hear any extraneous noise. And the reason that is because when Ridley Scott does an audio commentary, he goes to a very expensive post house that's $500 an hour, and with a very expensive post house mixer dude, and they make it beautiful. Now my condo, that little room, whisper quiet. PlayStation 3 fan, not whisper quiet. So what I do is I write Wade a note that looks something like this. Now what that means to me is, now this should be obvious. The fan is going off on the PlayStation 3. Should we stop the recording? Who wouldn't know that? So obvious to me. So what does Wade do? This is what Wade does. He goes like this. I go, can you hear that? It's like. So we keep going. Now once you start the audio commentary, you can't stop. Right? You can't stop.
No.
Or you have to do the whole thing over
It's like
again.
projectile vomiting. It's just you gotta follow it all the way through to its
Yes.
inevitable conclusion.
You can edit.
Well, you can.
You can
You're-
if you're a
but
$500 an hour post house.
You're not saying you can't do it. You're saying you don't know how to do it.
You can't, but you want to, you're in a rhythm, one thing leads to another, you've got a thought that cascades into another thought, there's an art to it. You don't really want to interrupt it if you have to.
So I really, really wanted to stop the recording because I knew it was too loud. Mark, television professional, Wade, idiot, it all works out. I thought, I'm going to stop, but I didn't. Because frankly, the track itself was great.
It is. No, it's fine. I was able to be a master sound mixer. I was able to filter the
Oh, no, here's what
sound
happens.
out.
Here's what happens. So for 75 minutes of this
Are we gonna
goddamn
talk about
movie,
movies?
yes, no, we're not.
Yeah, we only have 4
I have
tonight.
to get this off my chest. So we're finally done with the movie after 75 minutes of me agonizing over whether the freaking fan was too loud, which never shut off for the whole movie. So I tell Wade, can you please play that back? First 17 seconds, whisper quiet. From second 18 to minute 75, there's a hurricane going on in the room. And I was flabbergasted.
Now that same thing happened. I got to be honest. Same thing happened here. I tried the air conditioner on once, and everybody in the chat room was like, "Can't hear it, can't hear it, can't hear it." And then when I went to go put it up on iTunes, which by the way we're on iTunes audio now as well,
Oh, good.
so that'll be up on the site. So you can get it from iTunes video and audio if you want to listen to audio and be in 2007. I guess you can have an audio podcast. And then when you put it up there, yes, all you can hear was the fan. Even though it was like, no, I can't hear it at all. It was horrible to me. So
Well,
I get it.
I was able to extract the audio of the fan rather masterfully.
You claim that you were able to use some program to EQ out the fan noise.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, we will find out when Carcasses is released on DVD at some date that I don't know. 'Cause
Soon.
I don't pay attention.
September, I
Soon.
believe.
Huh?
September, I believe.
Is that
Next
right?
month, yeah.
Fantastic. You know what's even sooner than the DVD coming out? This weekend in movies! This weekend in movies! Let's do it!
Wow.
What the? Hey,
Whose is this?
that's for our '80s band. That's not supposed to be seen already.
This thing rocks. Look at this thing.
Oh,
Come on, it lights up.
that-
It does
that-
like a whole hootenanny thing.
Who took that out of the main house?
I did.
That should not be.
I didn't take it out of the main house. I didn't. I
Put it
swear. It was
back.
right. It was on a chair. What?
Man.
Corey wants me to
Back
tell.
where you found it.
We are going to do a fundraiser with our '80s band Rockin' for the crew coming up probably in October. There, you've given away the happy now.
This
a lot more.
So this was a surprise of the fundraiser.
No,
for the crew. This was it. This is the big premiere.
You ruined Christmas again.
How many movies do we have to review this week?
Here's the funny
Four.
part.
Mark's gonna go, how come we went over an hour?
This is the respect I. Here's what happens. I'm a little bit under the weather, right? So I go, hey, can somebody print out the script for me? Nobody prints out the script for me. I'm like, hey, can I have a water? Nobody gives me a water. Nobody. It's unbelievable. Nobody respects it. Listen to me. Nobody respects the talent. Nobody. That's why nothing gets done in this town. I don't know what I'm saying.
Mark
Okay.
is here.
What, is that right? Thank God. All right, by the way, can I just say we have the best crew on the internet. These guys are great. I'm just really busting their chops because it's fun to bust their chops. Okay.
You done?
I'm done.
I just
My
want to hear about
gosh,
Mark's
it's like-
date,
No,
which
no,
we're not going to get to.
Well,
not
here's
talking
the
about
here's
What?
the thing.
No, people
we
are
have
waiting.
4 movies to talk about. Only one of the 4 both of us actually saw because the publicists are now they don't care if they conflict with each other anymore. It used to be studios would coordinate their screenings so that, oh really, you've got this screening on a Tuesday, we'll screen ours on a Wednesday, and so that they knew that they wouldn't overlap so everybody could see the movies. They don't do that anymore. Now they just don't care. They don't care about us. They don't care about anybody. It's a big pain. So they conflict screenings, and we wind up having to choose.
Well, on
So
Tuesday, there were 2 movies that were
Yeah.
screening at the same time, and these 2 movies
Yeah.
were completely different. One was
Eat, Sleep, Poop.
Eat, Pray, Love.
Right. I'm sorry. Eat, Pray, Love.
And the other was,
The Expandables.
right.
You
So-
didn't-
Disposables. Expendables. Expendables.
And remember, we have the greatest experts in web podcasting movie. I'm like telling everybody, that's our new thing is like, look, we have the experts. These guys are real. They're Los Angeles Film Critics Association. We are the only movie podcast that has the real deal and the second coming of Robert and Ebert. No, Ebert, Siskel and Ebert, I'll say.
Yeah.
But now you
Yes.
guys don't even know the names of the movies. Never mind.
Anyway,
It just shows that we're not stuffed shirts.
That's it.
We're hip with the kids. What's it called again?
You should spike up your hair.
By the way, producer Mike got a haircut.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Dazzling.
The chat room can't
Coiffed.
stop talking about it.
Yeah,
Well-
it's all the rage. Can we get to the movies?
Okay. So the point is that I saw Eat, Pray, Love at the same time that Wade was seeing The Expendables. Wade, go.
Well, okay, so while I am getting doused with testosterone, Mark is backstroking in estrogen, and that's how our Tuesday was. So I'll start off with The Expendables. The Expendables is basically your straight-up, run-of-the-mill, Dirty Dozen type, A-Team type movie about a bunch of ex-military soldiers of fortune who go out and do whatever mission they're hired to do by whatever illicit black ops organization or government has hired them to do it. This is basically the movie the A-Team should have been, made for a fraction of the cost, with a better cast, better effects, and surprisingly, a better, less ostentatious script. Stallone has not directed a movie in a number of years, directs fairly infrequently these days. He co-wrote this and directed it, made unfortunately through the horrible people over at Millennium Films, Avi Lerner and Danny Dimbort, who we made fun of here some weeks ago. But here's the bottom line of this movie. This is about all these guys who go to a small island run by a dictator in the Gulf of Mexico, which has something going on with a former CIA guy played by Eric Roberts, and all they've got to do is blow a lot of stuff up. Here's a scene.
Drop your guns!
I'll take the 4 on the left.
Why don't you take the 2 on the right and leave the rest alone?
You should take the 2 on the right. You're not that fast anymore.
The only thing faster is light.
We'll see.
Bullets go faster than blades.
Bring in money! Here! Now!
You want the money? Go get it. What's that?
In a text.
Excuse me?
Get up!
Call that a tie.
Come on, keep breathing.
Okay, so that scene right there, that's actually the opening sequence of the movie. It takes place on the ship of some Somalian pirates, and it immediately establishes what these guys are all about, which is one-liners, macho, knives, guns, tough. There's no backstory to any of these guys, except for Mickey Rourke, who really isn't in the movie all that much. Mickey Rourke's kind of a peripheral character, kind of a guy who used to be one of the guys, but now he just does tattoos. Has a scene that is phenomenal. You almost want to give him an Oscar. He's so good in the one scene, but that's it. And then there's also one scene that has Bruce Willis and Schwarzenegger in it. Comes and goes, kind of cute, not really a big deal. But what makes the film so enjoyable, to my incredible amazement, is the fact that it knows what it is. A lot like when we talked about a few weeks ago, Predators. This movie knows what it is. It knows that it's just there to give you a ride. Some one-liners, not to try to be too intelligent, not to overdo the special effects. There's almost no CGI in this thing, which is really refreshing. Nothing overwrought. It's just giving you exactly what you expect. So this is a movie made for its audience. Is it going to win any Oscars? No. Does it deserve to? No. Is it enjoyable? Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, look, this is a film that I would like to see. Couldn't see it because I was seeing Eat, Pray, Love. But the thing is that I'm really rooting for it. I'm glad that you liked it because, first of all, there's no CGI, as you say.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I really think that when younger audiences today see something that is not CGI, it feels authentic to them. It feels cool. Like it used to be that CGI was the different thing that was ooh, ah, ooh. Now when it's not CGI, that's the different thing.
Yeah, it really, it's so refreshing when you see, because, you know, the A-Team took 12, 13 years, $130, $140 million worth of writers and pre-production and wasted money trying to get something together with a very, very sketchy cast that doesn't really have any chemistry. And the whole thing ultimately feels just horribly, horribly derivative and like a horse by committee, you know? It's not of a piece. And to take over a decade to do that, when here all you had to do was just, you know, Stallone finds a script that he likes, works on the rewrite, pulls a bunch of buddies together, gets Avi Lerner to throw some money at him, and for a fraction of the cost, they make something that really is the vision of one guy. And that's the bottom line. It's Stallone saying, I'm going to do the kind of film that I know how to do. And I'm not going to try to pretend that it's more than that. I'm just going to do my thing, and I'm going to just direct it very workmanlike, very efficiently. We're going to give the audience the little zippy one-liners and the setups and the payoffs and the fight scenes and the explosions and the guns, and they're going to walk away satisfied, and we're going to leave it at that. And that's all it is. And it owns what it is, and you have to respect it for that.
And you know, I was reading that Stallone also tried to get Jean-Claude Van Damme in the film.
You know, the funny thing, I was thinking during the end, as the credits were rolling at the end, I thought, this movie needed Van Damme.
He tried.
It needed Van Damme. And it's interesting because all the guys that you see in the poster, they're not all on the same side. They're not all necessarily even on screen at the same time. I mean, it's very much about Stallone and Jason Statham. That's the tandem that really anchors the movie. And Jet Li kind of a little bit in a third role, and then Dolph Lundgren is really interesting in the way that he figures into it as well. And the other guys are just there for the ride. And there are even some other people who show up. Eric Roberts is terrific in this. He really is. Eric Roberts has some lines that would have been just kind of throwaway lines. His delivery honestly, I'm sitting in the Clarity screening room, and you know how big the Clarity, tell everybody how big the Clarity screening room is.
It's one of the bigger independent rooms.
But it's not like you got 500 people in a room. So when people laugh in a small screening room, you're very much aware of whether or not something is working in the room or not. If you're in a room with 500 people and 100 people are laughing, it can sometimes feel like everyone is laughing. You know, it's a number. But if you feel anyone laughing or not laughing in a small room, it's obvious, and you know if the movie's working or not. In the Clarity, there were some line readings by Eric Roberts that had people in stitches. I mean, the room erupted. It was hilarious.
Well, I'm going to pay to see it. I admit it.
Yeah.
I will pay to see this movie because I want to see it. I'm rooting for it. Hope it does well.
And I'm going to point out for anybody who's a fan, Gary Daniels is in this movie too. I know you're looking at the poster. You see all the big names and all the WWF wrestlers and Jet Li and Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis. Gary Daniels is not one of them. But if you know who Gary Daniels is, you're going to want to see this. Gary Daniels, great martial artist. Do you know who Gary Daniels is?
Was he the evil guy in Karate Kid?
No.
I threw it out there. Hope for the
Is
best.
he the voice of Kit on Knight Rider?
No. Gary Daniels, British martial artist. And he's been in a number. He was in the live-action version.
All right, we're going way off the grid, folks. Just give way. 30 seconds to go off the grid with Gary Daniels. Go.
He was in the live-action version of Fist of the North Star with Chris Penn. He was also in a movie called Blood Moon. He fights Jet Li in this thing. And an awesome fighter. He's fought Jackie Chan on screen, fights Jet Li on screen. One of the few people ever to have fought Jackie Chan and Jet Li together in his career.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that a nice bit of trivia? Thank you. There we go.
All right, so later on we'll talk about Scott Pilgrim and Eat, Pray, Love. But actually, before that, what we're going to talk about now, Wade, actually is kind of the pick of the week.
It is.
So why don't you tell us about the pick of the week?
Pick of the week is Animal Kingdom.
What? Animal Kingdom?
I don't know.
See?
It's
The
great.
title is a bit of a problem, but Animal Kingdom is an Australian film by a writer-director named David Michôd, who's part of the Edgerton mob. The Edgerton, of course, being Nash and Joel Edgerton, who are the hot new team out of Australia, the brother team, who made a film earlier this year called The Square, which was a really tough, great, gritty Australian crime drama. This one, right in the same vein, and I might even say this is better than The Square.
Oh, this is better than The Square.
This is better than The Square. Watch this scene, and we'll talk about it when we come back.
Hi. I just want you to know I don't bear you any ill will, Mr. Leckie. I really don't. You were just doing your job. I hope you catch the people who did that terrible thing.
If you're as smart as I think you are, you'd know to walk right on by me like we've never seen each other before in our lives. And you'd know to feel lucky. You'll come unstuck. I've got a feeling about it. I think you do too. I reckon you'd probably carry that feeling around with you every second of the day.
But I don't, Nathan.
Okay, that's Guy Pearce there, the wonderful Guy Pearce of Memento
Tell Corey
fame
that
and-
that's Guy Pearce. Corey, that's
it's
Guy
Guy
Pearce.
Who did Corey think it was?
Corey thought it was James Brolin.
Really?
Oh, Josh.
No, it's Guy
I
Pearce.
think I said that on an earlier show. I
The
think
wonderful Guy Pearce, L.A. Confidential, Memento,
Yeah.
Priscilla, the Queen of the Desert, The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Guy Pearce is the cop in the movie. The woman that you saw is the matriarch of basically a crime family. The main character in the story is not shown in that clip. It's a young guy who, when the film begins, his mother has died, and in voiceover he tells you his mom always wanted to protect him from her family. And now that she's died, he winds up becoming ward of her family, which means her brothers and her mother. And as you meet them, you realize, yeah, they're kind of, they're these horrible Aussie rednecks, and they rob banks, and they're not really nice people. The opening title sequence shows them robbing banks. And but as the film goes on, you realize this is Shakespearean evil. This is like Macbeth. This is like grandmother Macbeth evil. And this family is so much darker, so much more diabolical than you could possibly ever imagine. And the way the film unveils these characters, and the way it unveils relationships, and the way that it takes you into these deep, dark Shakespearean recesses of this Australian redneck family, it's got kind of a Goodfellas vibe to it. And I really, really love this film. I think it's one of the best films of the year.
You know what? I liked it a lot too. And what I liked about it was that, like we were talking before the show, yes, there's Goodfellas, but this film, it's not played up here. It's played very quietly and very menacingly, because what happens is through the course of the film, internal and external pressures kind of converge to really squeeze this family. And what I liked about it was that the pacing was very methodical, and the way he blocks the shots, even if two people are talking, there's always somebody in the background, not even necessarily looking at them, but you always want to make that relationship visually, that this family is together, they're in it together. Even when they all start to kind of fall apart, this is a family, and it's it's done in a very methodical, mature fashion that's not hyperbolic at all.
I have always been a huge fan of Australian films. Australia and Hollywood have had this symbiotic relationship from day one, all the way back to Errol Flynn, who of course was Australian, and then really in a very heavy way after the Australian New Wave, when they came flocking to Hollywood with Roger Donaldson and Peter Weir and both George Millers, and we got all the talent from around that same time as well. Mel Gibson. It's like mud mentioning his name now, isn't it?
As it should be.
As it should be. But it's interesting because that sort of ran its course for a moment, and we got a lot of great acting talent in subsequent years. We've got Kate Blanchett, and we've got how many others? Yeah. All of them. It's Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Who said Hugh Jackman? Good job.
Right there. So I mean, it's been a cascade of acting talent in recent years, but it's not so much filmmaking talent. And now it's like these guys, the Edgerton and David Michôd group. David Michôd did the short documentary about the making of The Square. Joel Edgerton shows up as one of the brothers in this film. So they got a little thing going, and I'm hoping that this is an ongoing thing because I love what they're doing.
Well, the reason why we love what they're doing is because they do it in a very non-American style.
Yeah.
You know, if this was an American film, like let's say Goodfellas,
Yeah.
it would be very operatic. There'd be a lot of camera moves running around, making it seem like this whole big Brian De Palma Scarface thing.
Yeah.
That's not what this film is.
No.
It is just very quiet and menacing. And it's funny because the worst male character in the film is a complete wimpy guy. When this male character it first walks into the film, you're like, who's this little shrimp?
Yeah, you say, just take your bag of Cheetos and watch TV and let the real men get on with the business of, you know.
But it
kicking
turns
up,
out
but-
that this guy, through the course of
No.
the film and his actions, that quiet is so menacing. And when he looks at you, you know you're screwed. And he doesn't do it in an evil way.
No,
but
he
somehow
doesn't.
he projects it. It's all up here. He projects it.
And that's what makes it so Shakespearean. I'm watching that. I'm thinking this is really it is. It's a little bit Macbeth. It's a little bit Othello. It's got all of those dramatic tricks that they play. But good movies for me are always more about character than plot. It's the ones where character is subservient to plot. It always feels mechanical. The characters are not credible, and I always see I can see the gears working. And when it's something like this, where the characters dominate, and where I feel like I've just been invited into a very legitimate world, the plot becomes invisible, and I don't see the gears, and it winds up working much better. And I think that's the kind of stuff that anybody who wants to make a film, write a film, these are the kinds of movies you should be watching, because character dominates, and they are so credible, and they're so realistic, and they just grab you, and they just pull you right into their world. It's a sensational film.
Well, taking all that,
Yeah.
here's what to do if you don't want to write that type of a film. You create Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Okay.
That's what you do.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Now, here's what I'm
I thought he was
saying.
going to the other one.
Now, no. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was directed by Edgar Wright, who did Shaun of the Dead, which I enjoyed a lot. And in the film, which is based on a graphic novel, actually that's not true. The film isn't based on a graphic novel. The film is a graphic novel. And that's part of the problem. And let's take a look at a clip where Corey actually wound up finding the only clip of the entire film that is like straight dialogue. Go.
Why does everything have to be so complicated?
If you want something bad, you have to fight for it. Step up your game, Scott. Break out the L word.
Lesbian?
The other L word.
Lesbians?
It's love, Scott. I wasn't trying to trick you. Hey, buddy, look. If she really is the girl of your dreams, then you have to let her know. You have to overcome any and all obstacles that lie in your path. You can do it. Be with her. It's your destiny. Plus, I need you to move out. What?
Wow,
Now-
that's exciting.
Now, Michael Cera there plays the guy who Michael Cera always plays, which is sort of that dweeby guy who's so embarrassed and so shy he's about to like collapse in on himself, and he has fallen in love with a woman who is completely unattainable. Yet for some reasons that are never explained in the movie, she wants to go out with him. However, she's not going to go out with him until he defeats her 7 evil exes. Notice how we don't say 7 evil ex-boyfriends. There was some experimentation, Wade, back in college.
Got it.
That's what happened.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
So, because the film was directed by Edgar Wright, there is a lot of visual activity. This thing is basically a video game, a graphic novel come to life. When the phone rings, a little RING emanates from the phone. Whenever he goes to the men's room to take a leak, a little piss bar goes down as he continues to urinate. And what I liked about the movie is that when something is that chock-a-block with visual creativity, you really do have to give it some sort of credit. And there's a lot of clever stuff in the film. I did laugh. But I will say this, who cares? You don't really know what she sees in him because the film is it's so tied to the visual aesthetic. You don't necessarily care whether he wins her over. It's really all about the next visual thing. So basically the movie is just a gigantic empty calorie experience that, while clever, and I liked a lot of it, and there's some fun industry jokes, and it had a lot of great little supporting parts, including Chris Evans from the upcoming Captain America, plays the super macho action star guy who shows up. He's one of the evil ex-boyfriends. And what's funny is that when you go into the movie and there's 7 evil ex-boyfriends, this is the problem too. Whenever there's like 7 or 10 of something, you always wind up counting it down.
Always.
You know, so there's 7 evil boyfriends, 7 evil exes. And by the time he vanquishes the 3rd one, and whenever he vanquishes an evil ex in this big Street Fighter type fight where the final blow makes the enemy turn to coins that fall to the ground, by the time he's done with the 3rd one, you're thinking, okay, he's done 3. There's 7 total. God, I hope there are twins involved, because I can't sit here for another 4 of these things. I really gotta say. But you know what? It turns out there are twins, so I was very happy. So the movie has a lot of bells and whistles, and a lot of it is clever. I will give you that. And I think that if you're 13 years old, this film will be your first orgasm. You will have your first orgasm during Scott Pilgrim versus the World, because that's the kind of film this is. But it ultimately is an empty experience, and that was my problem with it. Now, you didn't see it.
I didn't see it because I had crazy screening conflicts and a whole bunch of stuff that I have to see because I'm on NPR on the 20th and the 27th, so I've got 2 weeks of manic screenings to go to.
But don't you think you've seen the whole don't you think once you've seen one Michael Cera performance, you've seen them all?
I loved him in Arrested Development, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And was it you pitched? Somebody was, oh no, another friend of mine was pitching him when he was writing the new Revenge of the Nerds way back when. He was writing for Howard Stern. And they're like, we don't know who that is. So back then, and he keeps playing the same thing, and I'm just like, it's Arrested Development, we get it.
And you know what, the problem is, because the film is, again, so dependent upon the visuals, if you're really going to latch on to the main character, he's got to bust through all that artifice. You got to really believe in this guy. He's got to bust through it, and that's not what Michael Cera does. He recedes. He's funny, and I'm not saying he doesn't have his thing, but basically he recedes as an actor.
Can he do? I mean, I haven't seen every Michael Cera film. Can he do anything else?
Not really. I mean,
has he done any of the roles? Does he need to take a really independent film and do something different? Is it possible?
Well, he's done independent films like
right.
that.
That's all. Is that all he is?
That gets into a dodgier area, because the question is, can he do anything else? Does he do anything else? Is he being offered anything else? Are his agents even fielding anything else? I suspect that his agents are doing him a disservice by saying, okay, he's this guy. Every movie that has a part for that guy, bring it our way. That they want him to own that kind of a part. But that's going to wear very thin.
And he's going to be too old for that.
He's going to be too old for that. And what he should be looking at is, how can I stretch as an actor as I age and do something? I was just having this conversation today. How the actors that really, every actor has to know that whatever thing it is that you do, there's somebody lined up right behind you who's 2 years behind you, who's younger and hotter and cooler and cheaper, who's going to displace you. And you could become yesterday's news in 18 months. So your career could literally collapse as soon as the next one comes along. The only ones that have longevity are the ones who can adapt, who are character actors, who can transform, who have talent that transcends whatever thing it is that they have. The Meryl Streeps, the Paul Newmans, you know, that's where you need to go. And Michael Cera needs to say, who am I going to be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years? What kinds of parts do I want to mine for myself? And then he needs to tell his agents, stop it. Stop working for the agency and not for me. You're my agents, you know, and that's part of the problem too. It's a broad Hollywood problem that agents now work for the agency and not their client.
But I think if you look at like Michael Cera and Jonah Hill, and even Russell Brand and all those guys in
Jesse
that group,
Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg has done dramatic parts.
Jesse Eisenberg is like Michael Cera with a little more Woody Allen.
Well, the thing with Eisenberg is that I do feel as if he does have an interest in drama.
There's something a little more interior about him that makes it gives him a little more versatility, but he also keeps doing the same thing over and over.
He does. He's the dweeby Jewish guy that he just plays.
Who's a little more neurotic than Michael Cera, but a little more intellectual.
And a little more real. Because the thing with Michael Cera is that as an actor, he's never real to me.
Yeah.
He's always that caricature. Yeah. Whereas Jesse Eisenberg, I think, can grow into that guy who is real and is an adult.
It is a very, very large problem.
Yes, true.
For actors of the younger generation of actors across the board.
Very true.
Yeah.
All right, so Wade, that's Scott Pilgrim Saves the World, which, by the way, I think everyone thought that I would hate.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it.
Wait, you just said you...
No.
Yes,
wait, at the beginning it sounded like you hated it.
No, I said it was.
Has issues with it.
I have issues. I said it was.
Okay, that's fine.
It was clever.
Okay.
And it was funny.
All right.
And it was chock-a-block with bells and whistles.
But it's
ultimately,
empty calories.
it was empty calories. It was an empty experience, huh?
But a lot of people like going to the movies for empty calories. I am not one. I used to get yelled at by a lot of girlfriends. Why can't you just enjoy it? Why can't you just have fun and let go and not think? Which I
because
can't
you were
do.
paying for it.
I'm paying for it. I like to
This
think
is
when I go to the movie.
This is one of those films that people hate critics for. Although
right, that's what I'm saying.
Although it's
some
doing
people
well in Rotten
just
Tomatoes.
want that. Some people want, and I like that you go, if you like that kind of movie, you like this.
Yes, that is true.
The same with The Expendables. The Expendables is empty calories too, but it it hits the beats that you expect if you go to see that kind of film. Unlike The A-Team, which if you like that kind of film, you're going to hate The A-Team.
Now,
so
but I will say this before we move on to Eat, Pray, Love. I'll say this. To me, there was more. genuine emotion in the scene in Shaun of the Dead where the main character has to shoot his mother. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because she's turning into a zombie. There's more emotion in that beat that
Sure.
the guy's got to shoot his mother than in
Sure.
all of Scott Pilgrim.
Because Scott Pilgrim is a top-down movie, Shaun of the Dead is a bottom-up movie. Shaun of the Dead is a movie that was conceived by the artists, by the guys in it, who put it together and then got the money, and it bears their vision. Whereas Scott Pilgrim is a movie that some executive acquired the property and said, we got to do this because the kids love it, and look at the numbers and the actuarials, and we can make money off this. And then you bring people into the mix, nobody who really cares about it, everyone's doing it for the paycheck, and it winds up being a soulless kind of piece of marketing. Movies need to originate in somebody's soul.
Well,
and not at the top of somebody's Excel spreadsheet.
It's funny you should say that. Because our next movie is Eat, Pray, Love. Now,
not Eat, Sleep, Poop?
No. Please, don't work blue.
Sorry.
Come on.
Wow.
There's kids watching.
Really?
Okay, what? What happened? Okay, Eat, Pray, Love is based on the Elizabeth Gilbert book that really resonated with a lot of women. Now, all women love this movie. It was an Oprah big deal. All guys would rather kill themselves than even look at it at the bookstore, but all the women loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand because it's very female empowering. And the book really came from this woman's heart, right? At least in the passages that I read at the bookstore. Here's what happens. You go to the bookstore, Eat, Pray, Love is there, which means all the girls are there. So you kind of walk up to the area where Eat, Pray, Love is, and you go, oh, interesting. You look around. I'm so in touch with my feminine side. I'm going to pretend like I'm flipping through Eat, Pray, Love. Oh, hello there, young missy. I see that you're reading Eat, Pray, Love. Would you like to go to the screening? No, I didn't.
Wow.
Okay,
But you already took somebody to the screening.
I did.
but you
Yes,
don't-
I did.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'd love to see Mark work in the Disney store. That would be a whole new experience. Okay.
How dare you? Okay, so now we have the movie Eat, Pray, Love. It was inevitable there'd be a movie, and it stars Julia Roberts. She plays a woman who has just gone through a very painful divorce, and she needs to find herself, so she decides to take a year off and travel the world on sort of a spiritual journey. She will go to Italy, where she will eat. She'll go to India, where she'll pray, and she'll go to Indonesia, where she will love. Notice how each of those areas starts with an I. It's all about I. Let's look at a clip.
I'm in love. I'm having a relationship with my pizza. You look like you're breaking up with the pizza. What's the matter?
I can't.
I mean, you can't. This is Pizza Margarita in Napoli. It is your moral imperative to eat and enjoy that pizza.
I want to, but I've gained like 10 pounds. I mean, I've got this right here in my tummy. This, what's it called? What's the word for it?
A muffin top. I have one too.
I unbuttoned my jeans like 5 minutes ago just looking at this.
Let me ask you a question. In all the years you've ever undressed in front of a gentleman?
Hasn't been that many.
All right, well, has he ever asked you to leave? Has he ever walked out, left? No. Because he doesn't care. He's in a room with a naked girl. He's won the lottery. I'm so tired of saying no and then waking up in the morning and recalling every single thing I ate the day before, counting every calorie I consumed so I know exactly how much self-loathing to take into the shower. I'm going for it. I'm no interest in being obese. I'm just through with the guilt. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna finish this pizza, and then we're gonna go watch the soccer game. And tomorrow, we're gonna go on a little date and buy ourselves some bigger jeans. Giovanni likes a muffin.
Now, Julia Roberts is, of course, crucial to the film, but the real most valuable player of this film is Ryan Murphy. Now, Ryan Murphy is the guy who created Glee and who created Nip Tuck. So right now, this guy is hot. However, that's not the Ryan Murphy who shows up to this movie as a director. The Ryan Murphy who shows up to this movie is the Ryan Murphy who directed Running with Scissors, which is another literary adaptation, the Augustin Burroughs book, and that movie was dreadful. Now, Eat, Pray, Love is not dreadful. I'll say what I didn't like about it was that I felt as if it was a banal sort of travelogue that took all of this rich interior spiritual stuff from the book, and it actually lifted passages from the book into the movie, that Julia Roberts says. But it took all of that stuff and really flattened it out and made it banal. And there really is not a whole lot of spiritual enlightenment in this film. You know, the movie mentions religion without really being, let's say, religious, because you can't take that chance. right? And in the movie, there's a whole lot of loving shots of the food because she's gonna, she's afraid she's gonna gain weight, but she's having so much fun. Everybody in the film is fantastic. Everybody's pretty. Everybody's her friend. It just winds up being a little too prettified for me. And Julia Roberts, although I understand completely why they would cast her, I liked her. She's fine. She's got the $1 million smile, but she's really not that, like we were talking about Michael Cera. For this sort of role, she's really not that much of an interior actress. Julia Roberts is a great pop actress, where if you're in Ocean's 12 or even Erin Brockovich, whatever it is, which you won an Oscar for, she'll bring it. But if you need those deeper emotions, you're not going to get that from Julia Roberts. And this film, which is very slickly shot, beautifully shot, but the problem is that it's beautiful, which I don't think was the aesthetic they really should have been going for. It needed to be much richer and much more deeper and much more real. Life is very messy. This film is just not messy. She goes to these 3 places, learns what she has to learn, and then it's it. That being said, you will sit there and basically think it's fine. You won't dislike it. But I just think that it should have been a much richer, deeper experience, and it just wasn't.
So you're telling me that I actually got the better end of this deal. Because, see, what nobody realizes here, I was originally supposed to see Eat, Pray, Love, and you were going to see The Expendables.
No, here's what happens. I'll tell you what happens.
Honestly, I wanted to see Eat, Pray, Love, and Mark said, well, I'll go see The Expendables, and I'm like, thank God, because, I don't want to have to see that crap. I want to see the Julia Roberts movie.
And it turned out not crap.
It turned out to be really fun.
Eat, Pray, Love, crap. No, it's not crap.
So why?
Here's what happens. So early in the week, Wade, Mike, and myself start emailing each other and saying, what have you seen? Who's seen what? Now, this is an odd week because we didn't see any of the same films except for Animal Kingdom.
Everything was
off. Like we said earlier, Expendables and Eat, Pray, Love were screening on the same night at the same time. So what I did is I said, look, if I get a date for Eat, Pray, Love, stop the laughter. If I get a date for
Underline if.
Exactly. If I get a date for Eat, Pray, Love, I'm going to have to see that. If I don't, I'd much rather see The Expendables, right? So what happens is I get a date for Eat, Pray, Love, and then you got to go see The Expendables.
And I go, oh. God,
and you wind up seeing a really terrific film.
And I was and I laughed and I went woo, and I got into it, and I got my man on, and there you come on.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
Testosterone, guys, muscle, hair, sweat, the whole Tom Jonesy thing.
And now when you go on a date afterwards, do you act like a critic and start tearing apart the film, and she's just like whatever?
Well,
or do you just kind of not talk about it?
Here's what happens. What?
Mark tells her. Mark goes, yeah, we could have gone to see The Expendables.
And she was like, I would so rather see that.
Oh, that's a good girl. See, that's what I said. I said if the woman wants to see Pray, Love, you don't want to date that woman.
Okay.
So that was a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
You found out something good about her.
That is very true. So
and the whole chat room right now is we want to hear more about the date.
Okay, we're not hearing about
somebody.
This is not stupid for dating.
If I was single, I would totally go on a date with Mark.
Look at that.
That's a fact from I believe his name was Barry. No, it was Jamie.
What?
Right there.
Hi, Jamie.
Fact. If I was single, I would go on a date with Mark.
All right. So anyway, Eat, Pray, Love. It's fine, but it's not what it should have been. It's not what it should have been. Ryan Murphy guarantees that. And really, in a sense, so does Julia Roberts, because she's not going to bring her really rich, deep A game, which I don't think she really has. You know what? It would be like if a man were to star in this film, let's say, which would be called to Eat Video Games Poop. That would be the male version, Eat Video Games Poop. It would be like casting Harrison Ford, where you'd get a completely serviceable, professional performance that doesn't really go anywhere.
In the clip we showed where she's eating pizza, that's awfully impressive pizza eating.
Well, there's a whole lot of food porn in that first part.
That's a good way of putting it.
There's a whole lot of food porn because, the idea is that she feels liberated to eat all this food. And there's a shot in the film where she's in a dressing room with her girlfriend, and Julia Roberts has eaten so much that she can't get into her new pants that she's trying to buy. Which, of course, shows that the film... Here's what also I don't like about this film, which, by the way, is the same thing with the book. But the book is different. Let me just say this one thing, then we'll move on.
You read the book. You read the book, right? That's what I was going to ask.
No. But I do know how the book ended. I'm not going to read that crap. I do know how the book ended. And in the book it's a different experience, I think. But in the movie, what annoyed me was this. Here's what annoys me in the movie. You get this a woman, and she just got a divorce, and she was just in this strange affair with an actor played by James Franco, and men are really bad to her, so she winds up on this journey of spiritual enlightenment and self-discovery, and of course at the end she's nothing without a guy, Javier Bardem. So you're like, oh,
Yeah,
really? So
but-
basically, you go on a journey of self-discovery, and you learn about yourself and how much you love life, and you love being yourself, and you're comfortable in your own skin now, but you still can't be fully a woman unless you have a guy.
Is that the Hollywood ending or the book ending?
That's both.
Both are the same.
But in the movie, it seemed very Hollywood.
Well-
and that struck me as wrong.
In the movie, it's Javier Bardem. In the book, it's Wallace Shawn.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. By the way, for those who don't know, Wallace Shawn basically looks like the Penguin from the Batman comics. That's what Wallace Shawn looks like. All right, so for your entertainment dollar, you have Expendables, Animal Kingdom, Scott Pilgrim, Eat, Pray, Love. Wade, go. Rank them. 1 through 4. Wade, rank them.
Animal Kingdom, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, you haven't seen the other freaking 2 of them.
No,
See, I called his bluff on
Animal
that.
Kingdom and the Expendables are the only 2 that I saw. And Animal Kingdom, awesome. Expendables for people who just want some disposable action entertainment.
Well, I would say the best is Animal Kingdom, best film of the week. That's no doubt.
Far and away.
I will say Scott Pilgrim after that because I did respect the amount of work that was put into making the shallow experience. And then finally, I'll say Eat, Pray, Love only if you, if you're a woman, which I'm not.
Okay.
That's why I didn't like it. I know you were
And
thinking I
neither
was.
did your date, so she's cool.
That's very true.
There we go.
Okay, so there you go. That's this week in the
Moving on.
movies, folks. There you have it. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
That's this week in the movie, folks. That's this week in the movie,
Oh.
folks.
Give me one more. What do you say?
That's this week in the
TriCaster Jam
movies.
It's summer vacation coming up. This is like
Everyone's going on vacation.
next
Mike's-
week we have off, so this is like summer break. We're like, we're throwing the papers out of the lockers. We don't, whatever.
Adam's
Yeah.
not here going on vacation. Mike's going on vacation. J-Max going on vacation.
I'll be here.
Amazing.
Yay!
Do a show.
Do a show. Just the three of us.
Let's go bowling.
I really miss Chad Vader. Is he going on vacation? That's how I get into the news.
Chad Vader. Whoa! Let's do the news. Oop, did I put down my water in time? Chad, did I put down my water in time? I tried so hard.
You did, my friend. Put
Thank
down
you.
the water in time.
What's going on in the news there, Chad?
Oh, we've got lots of exciting news. Our top story, porn. Hong Kong is developing the first 3D porn movie. It's called 3D Sex and Zen, Extreme Ecstasy. It's set for release in May, and it's loosely based on a piece of classic Chinese erotic literature, the Carnal Prayer Mat. There's an item in my house called the Carnal Prayer Mat, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. In related news, Hustler is reportedly developing a 3D avatar porn spoof. What could the title possibly be? I respectfully submit, Avanards.
Awesome.
Let me just say something.
Go
Before
ahead.
you launch into your point,
Yeah.
you realize that all the major technological home entertainment advances
Yeah.
have been kind of initially propagated by porn.
Yeah.
VHS, porn was first out of the gate. DVD, porn first out of the gate.
Sure.
Internet websites, porn were the first out of the gate.
Although, let's point out, this is a Hong Kong porn film. In Hong Kong, we're talking about Category 3. Everything in Hong Kong is in categories. It's their rating system, and Category 3 is the adult stuff. But it's the adult stuff or the really intensely violent stuff. But in Hong Kong, the standards are different, and you don't really ever get porn, per se, in Hong Kong. Sex and Zen, the original movie Sex and Zen, which is considered enormously scandalous and was at the time, it's not really porn. It's got full frontal nudity in it, it's got the copious sex, but it's a mainstream movie, and it's incredibly funny. I mean, it's about a guy who's a scholar in medieval China who's trying to somehow become a better lover, and it's about this journey, and it's wacky comedy. And there's stuff where he tries to get himself transplanted with a horse and all this kind of stuff. It's very silly stuff. And I
Can we go
suspect...
back to talking about porn, please?
I suspect this is going to be more of the same. I don't see this as a game changer or as a trendsetter or something that's necessarily going to do anything other than become another sort of novelty Category 3 film. Look, Amy Yip, huge star of Hong Kong Category 3 films in the 80s. I'm a big Amy Yip fan. Robotrix, awesome film. Robotrix, if you can find it, hysterical. You will die laughing watching this movie, but it ain't porn.
Chad, will you shut him up, please?
Thank you.
Gladly.
Come on.
Speaking of Avatar, I love you, Wade. Speaking of Avatar, James Cameron may be planning on shooting parts 2 and 3 of Avatar back to back, turning the top-grossing movie into a top-grossing trilogy, much to the delight of Wade Major. What will be the titles of these sequels, I wonder? I respectfully submit Avatar 2, Son of Avatar, and Avatar 3, The Quickening. Supposedly, Cameron is also writing a novelization of Avatar, but doesn't want it to be, quote, too cheesy, unquote. James, come on now. How could anything associated with Avatar ever be cheesy?
Chad, we call him Jimmy. Jimmy Cameron. Yo, Jimmy C.
I call him JC.
Got it.
Ooh, JC, Jesus Christ. I see where that complex comes from, that guy.
Yeah, don't you?
Now, here's the thing. A lot of times what they'll do is when they shoot back-to-back sequels, they do it to save money. Because they know that if they wind up doing number 2 now and then number 3, let's say 3-4 years from now, it'll cost that much more money, so they do them back-to-back.
Go through all of the trilogies where they had a hit film and then they shot 2 and 3 back-to-back.
Back to the
I
Future.
can think of 3.
Back to the
right,
Future.
Back to the Future.
The Matrix.
2 more, yeah, The Matrix. 1 more.
And then what?
Pirates of the Caribbean. Those are the big 3 where they've tried that.
By the way, why don't we give her a hand?
Emily.
Give Emily a hand.
Well done, Emily. So the bottom line in all 3 of those instances being, what's the common theme there?
No, well, wait. Matrix, terrible.
Yes.
Matrix 2 and 3, terrible. Pirates
Yes.
of the Caribbean 2 and 3, I still can't figure it out.
Terrible.
And Back to the Future.
Fine, but not as good as the original.
Well, that's fine.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, if pattern holds true and Avatar is in fact cheesy, 2 and 3 are just. I'm going to just get a new career. I'm going to go work at a car wash. I'm just going to throw in the towel.
Oh, please be cheesy. Please be cheesy.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Done.
Bikini car wash Saturday with Wade. I can see it now. All right, Chad. Anything else in the news?
I would come to that car wash, even though I don't have a car.
What do you
News
got?
item number 3.
Go.
David Bergstein, the Hollywood financier who recently orchestrated the sale of Miramax, was arrested last November for bad checks and unpaid gambling debts involving multiple Las Vegas casinos.
Awesome.
The reptilian Bergstein reportedly has nearly $3 million in unpaid gambling debts. David, your life is so interesting. Someone should write a book about you. What would the title of that book be? I respectfully submit Deadbeat Bergstein and the Cuckoo Vegas Blowout. Or perhaps David's 11. What about Berg Steel? I can't stop coming up with titles for things, guys. I'm a genius. Want a new title for your show? How about Mark and Wade's Good Time Movie Hour? Or perhaps Silly for Moving Pictures?
Okay, no,
Or-
Chad,
you know
no, enough.
I've got more.
No, we're good.
It's working
We're good.
okay.
I'm on a roll, guys.
No,
A Kaiser roll.
no.
Kill me! Kill me! Oh.
Terrible.
I don't feel well.
Wow.
You know, wait, go nuts on Bergstein. Go nuts.
It's almost to a point now where I almost feel sorry for the guy. And I say almost because I don't really. I think the guy's a sleazeball and a scumbag and really should never have anything to do in Hollywood ever again. He's ruined entire companies. And it's infuriating to me, actually, that Think Film, which was a really good company, apparently was just dragged into the gutter and torn apart because of this guy's indiscretions. And on top of that, now we're finding out that he's just gambling money recklessly. People lost their jobs and their livelihoods because of this guy's incompetence. It's sick. But at the same time, this guy's got problems. I hope he's getting treatment for them. I hope he's trying to put his life together. I don't think he is. But this might be a good time for somebody to say to Bergstein, you know what, you have caused a lot of pain. You've done a lot of harm to a lot of people, including yourself. It's time you take leave of absence from Hollywood and put it together.
So you're saying, let me just get this straight.
Yeah.
You're saying that in Hollywood, there are bad people.
Yes.
What? This just in?
But you know what? There are bad people, and then there are just train wreck people. And there are a lot of people who can be, bad, but somehow the business survives and you can navigate around them. But Bergstein really just lassoed a big chunk of the independent film arena and just dragged it down with him, and it was...
Keep going, Wade. Chad's so
horrible.
into this. It's
I know,
unbelievable.
it's okay. There we go. Done.
All right,
Done.
Chad, you
Rant
can
is
wake up
done.
now.
I'm awake.
Chad, what do you have to do? You got to listen to Wade. You got nothing else to do down there at the Empire Market. Come on, be honest.
It's late, man. I gotta get to bed. Tired.
Okay.
All right, Chad. Thank you very much. Chad Vader, everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
Good
Look at
night.
that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chad, bringing the news.
Yes.
All right, so Wade, we've done the movie thing. We've done the Chad Vader thing. That can only mean one other thing.
Try this at home.
Now,
okay, they've had 3 weeks to see this movie.
About 18 weeks ago,
Yeah.
we asked you guys to watch Altered States, the Ken Russell film starring William Hurt.
Yes.
And
Blair Brown.
And Blair Brown. Wade, why do you like that film so much?
You know, here's why I like it. Ken Russell has made very few films that we would consider enduring and accessible. He's kind of an artifact of a certain time. He's become an eccentric, crazy old man. But Altered States is the one that sort of fuses the eccentricity of the early period to the eccentricity of the later period. It's a real movie, but it's an awesome genre film for its time. It's one of the few science fiction films of the 80s that wasn't a space battle movie, that wasn't geared toward teenagers. It's an adult movie. It's about heavy ideas. And Paddy Chayefsky.
Right.
I mean, you know, it's a merging of some amazing talents at an amazing point in time that takes something that could have been incredibly obscure and non-commercial, and probably should have been, and it is a one-of-a-kind, unique ride, and I don't think there's another film that's ever been made that's even close to being like it. It's really a one-of-a-kind.
That is true. Now, producer Mike is checking the tweeting and the Facebooking and the message board to see if anybody's commenting on it.
Let's see, Corey, you got anybody for me? I got message board people otherwise.
I got Skypes coming in. Just a minute.
Got Skypes coming in. I'll
Awesome.
do message board then. Is it Kratos or Kratos? Kratos.
Kratos.
Oh, boy. Kratos. I made my homework again. See, Kratos does his homework.
Thank you,
Right
Kratos.
on.
Kratos has 4 posts on the message board, and he's done his homework, I think, like the last 3 times.
Awesome.
Is Kratos, are you related to Kodos the Executioner from the Star Trek original series episode?
Oh my gosh.
You can-
Really?
Kodos the Executioner.
Are you really nerding out that far?
So we watch Altered States.
This guy,
Wait.
Wade is Mr. Star
This,
Trek.
this goes more. He watched Altered States at his birthday party
While stoned.
with his friends, and they really liked it. Had some great shots. Effects, considering it was made around 1980, were pretty awesome and well made.
Yeah.
The thing you liked most about it is gave us such a great deal of things to discuss after the movie.
See?
Different interpretations, and even though there were a lot of hallucination scenes, I thought at the party, no, and were fast and intense, we were able to understand them and interpret them. Not like the scenes in The Ring where the girl brushed her hair. That for me is just random. Thanks again for another great movie.
Cool.
So there you go. Oh, he's from Venezuela. Venezuela.
Nice.
Venezuela, give it up for
Yeah, all over the world.
South of the border.
Venezuela,
There we go.
south of the border.
Yeah.
All right, who else from the message board?
Stuart Moncure.
Oh, Stuart, long-time listener of the
Been a
podcast.
while since he saw Altered States. Very impressed with how well it stood up. It
Yeah.
stood up. Ugh,
Because it's
still
Paddy
holds up.
Chayefsky. That means it's not like 10 years from now when Scott Pilgrim is shown in some revival
Yeah.
house, it'll mean nothing. Because it's not the script, it's not the story, it's not the characters, nobody cares. When you got Paddy Chayefsky writing your script, it's going to endure.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Same things. Thought-provoking, loves the philosophical questions. Very surprised to learn while looking through IMDb that Drew Barrymore's first movie role was in here. Did you know that?
Yes, it's even before E.T., but it's like, you know,
Yep.
minuscule. Yeah.
And Ken Russell was not the first director for this movie.
That's true. But I've forgotten who was.
I was
Stuart
probably
did not give you a clue.
Edgar Wright.
That's true. I had forgotten about that. That is true.
But you know what? Ken Russell's the guy to do
Let's
this.
go
Oh, yeah.
to Skypes. We got Mahi.
Mahi? Mahi?
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah.
Mahi, everybody! Put up his lower third. Let's see Mahi in glory, all its red glory. So, what did you think of Altered States?
He can only run the TriCaster so fast, and he's one of the experts at it. Give him a break.
Okay, I'm sorry, J-Mac. All right, Mahi, what do you think?
I can go. I can just walk away.
No, not you, Mahi.
What? No,
he's giving J-Mac crap.
All right, yeah,
We
it was
love you.
great. I loved it.
Really? So,
Very
tell me what you liked about it.
The fact that it was very fast-pacing. It came from one thing to another. It didn't bore you with any trivial stuff like having babies and like the getting from one degree to another and the experiments cutting down time. It really got you to the point. And when it does, it just surprised me because I didn't know it was like I thought it was going to be more like a mind thriller kind of thing, Altered States, but it turned all physical and evolutionary type. It was a very smart film.
It was, because you know what? I mean, there's really nothing else like it. I mean, like, if we were to recommend to Mahi something similar,
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
They just don't make films like that.
Here's something else that I love about Altered States, and this goes to the idea of movie marketing. If Altered States had been made today, the studios wouldn't know how to market this, and they'd probably lard the poster up with a whole bunch of faces from the movie and scenes, or they'd find something that had absolutely nothing to do with the film. The poster from the time, put it up there again. No. Let's see the poster for the movie again. Because it's William Hurt upside down in the barometric chamber. That's it. That doesn't tell, I mean, that's like, it's provocative. It makes you ask questions. It doesn't really tell you anything.
Wait a
but
second.
it lures
You're saying
you.
provocative and makes you ask questions?
Yeah. That's smart marketing.
But movies
Those people-
aren't provocative and make you ask questions.
Yeah, not anymore. they're not.
This is the viewer segment, and we have another viewer.
Fine.
Let's hear him.
Who do we have?
He's not ready yet.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait, keep talking. Don't listen to Mike.
Wait, all right, don't let me go to the message boards. On the message.
Oh, Mahi's still on the line.
Oh.
All right, Mahi, listen. Okay, so Mahi, we're glad you enjoyed it. We had a feeling you would because you like cool movies, because you call it all the time and we love it. So thank you very much. And let's go to the next caller or the next message board.
Message board, then a caller.
comment.
Lady Diode on the message boards. Remember, if you're shy, you can go to the message boards, and even if it's after the fact, you can still go to the message boards and write your review. We still want you to watch these movies. If you didn't get a chance to watch it for today, and now it's sounding good to you, you can still do your homework, and we'll give you credit. How's that?
Yeah.
You know, next week I'm hosting the show on the message boards.
That's true. Mark will be on the message boards next week.
Just hosting the
He'll
show.
be asking your questions alone. There was only one level of consciousness watching Altered States, and that was extreme interest.
Awesome.
Interesting, so like edge of your seat.
Lady Diode.
With special effects relevant to 1980 standards, the film was definitely entertaining, although I thought the ending fell short of expectations.
Right.
I could see where several other 80s films got their influence. Very trippy in parts, William Hurt gave an excellent performance, and his Primal Man facial expressions were actually frightening.
Yeah.
On my Diode scale, she gave it a 10.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. I'm guessing lady is a female.
I think that's a good assumption.
We don't know.
9.
A 9. Well, you know what? It's funny because, you know, William Hurt, I mean, you know, he still works. He was Oscar
But
nominated
that
for
was his
History of Violence.
That was his moment from about 1980 to about 1988.
Broadcast News.
Broadcast News,
Altered
Kiss
States,
of the Spider
Kiss of the
Woman.
Spider
I mean, that was
Woman.
his moment.
He's
you know.
great. He's great.
The
He's one of those guys that just he endures and he's always good.
Yeah.
And he can do the big
Children of the Lesser God.
Children of the Lesser God. He can do the big mainstream film.
Yeah.
But he can also be nominated for an Oscar for something small like
Yeah.
History of Violence.
Yep.
I mean, he really goes both ways. It's great. Guys like that really aren't around that much.
That's true.
Who else? Who we got?
We've got Pooposterous on the line.
Pooposterous, yeah, one of our
What's up, Poop?
favorites.
Calling in.
Hello,
Caller.
hello, gentlemen.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Fantastic. So what did you think of Altered States?
I split my opinion of it in sort of 75 the first 75% and then the last 25%. For the first half of the film, I was really amazed at the tight script and how these guys were able to pull off reading that script. It was like one of the most amazing things I've seen in film is how they were able to pull off that complicated script with overlapping dialogue and just pull it off as though you know, as though it were just a natural scene. I don't know if they had to do retakes, but wow, it was amazing. The technical aspect of it, making the experiment look realistic, I thought that was fine. I found that, you know, the whole thing in terms of its point was a little bit thin, but it just kind of lost me at the end. It just kind of went off into the weeds toward the end, where you're just like, okay, I get it. All right, I can follow that, but then the movie just kind of stopped. The only thing that I really didn't like is the sort of cheesy graphics at the very end, where you've got this person who is instantaneously changing form from their human form to some other, you know, someone in a red jumpsuit. I don't know what that was all about, but anyway, that it kind of ended on a bit of a down note for me. But the first half made up for that for sure. I thought it was really good. It's worthwhile. Anyone else who has not seen it, I definitely think you should check it out.
You know, that's one of the good things about the movie, which is that unlike a lot of films you see nowadays, when you're watching Altered States, you don't know where it's going to go. I mean, you know he'll get worse and worse, but where's it going to go? You don't really know.
A lot of people did have problems with it at the time, and probably still do, and this may be some of what Poop's talking about, that it has an almost 2001 element to it, where it goes up to a certain point, and then it just goes nuts. And if you're not willing to sort of go with it, that's a terminal point for you. You go, you know, I was with you until you kind of went totally off the rails.
Right, that's true. All right, Pooposterous, once again, great comments. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Pooposterous, everybody. Get ahead. One of our favorites always calls in. All right, Mike, anybody else? Corey, J-Mac, Emily,
That's
anybody else?
everybody.
That's everybody. Okay.
And what do you What's next? What are you supposed to watch?
Here's what we're recommending for next week. Nothing.
Nothing. Summer vacation.
vacation.
So no homework.
We have no homework.
And then we're going to still decide. So we're in the message boards. There is, in fact, going on the message board, should we continue this in this form? Should we change the form? So we'd love to hear your opinions.
Yeah.
How do we try this at home? Should we change it back to what we originally had, which was instant gratification, instant downloadable or viewable content? Maybe we just focus on that. So we'd love to hear everybody's thoughts, and then we're going to, still, this show is all about the viewers, so we want to know what's going to work for them.
Cool.
It's not about Wade and I?
No.
No.
No, they're just
It's about,
pretty faces.
it could be about your dates.
Yeah.
That would be a great
I
new
think
segment.
there might be Stupid for Mark's dates. I think people actually might like that show. Let's see.
We'll
Audience
start-
Stupid for Mark dates. Hold on. Let's wait a second here. Let's.
And,
We'll start it
yes.
When Mike says a second, he means forever.
Well, we have one person says yes immediately.
It'll start as a segment.
Somebody
and
wants a
evolve to
JMac
show.
Power Hour. I mean, he says JMac Power Hour. Thumbs up. LOL. Yeah. A plus. Yeah. This.
What the
He
JMac?
says A plus.
No, no, the JMac
L
Power
Sandwich
Hour.
says no. Dan Bucky. Yes, with 5 exclamation points.
You know who said no? One of my ex-dates. That's who said no.
No, she might want a dish. Oh my God, that would be, how great would that be? Skype in. Who
Oh
went
my
out with
God.
Mark? What did you eat?
Nice.
All right,
How much did he
so-
spend on drinks?
All right, exactly. It's a Diet Coke for you and a middle water
Stupid.
for
Oh,
me.
there is a stupid for Wade's wardrobe. Interesting.
Thank you. Thank you, whoever said that.
I like that tie. I like the kind of untied tie because everybody thinks he's the stuffy guy, and then he comes in like, oh, it's a little casual. It's a little, it's a little
Yeah.
J. Crewish, I guess you could say.
This tie comes from
Sears.
France. France.
It does. Wait, wait, hang
It
on.
does.
This will take 2 seconds. Lift that up. It says Lanvin, Paris. Of course, that's Paris, Texas.
Idaho.
It's like a Big Lots in Paris, Texas. Yes. All right. So there's your homework for next week. Is no homework. Summer vacation. Enjoy it. We'll come back in 2 weeks and we'll give you a sense of where this segment's going to go. Hopefully,
Yes.
it'll go.
What
someplace
movies are you
guys will
reviewing in 2
enjoy.
weeks? Do you know what movies you're reviewing yet?
No. Although I'll say
No.
this.
I think
God.
Piranha 3D is next week. Never mind.
Ooh.
No,
that's-
thank God
that's
there's no
next week.
show next week. You know why? Because now I don't have to see The Switch.
Which one's that?
That's the
Jason
Jennifer-
Bateman and
Oh,
Jennifer Aniston.
well, Bateman,
He
good.
He looks in the
Aniston.
cup of sperm in the air. in the poster.
Let's never watch that. Okay, bye, Rent or Burn,
All right,
people.
let's do it. All right, here we go.
Bring it
Well,
on.
Just for the record, El Sandwich, no, we don't have to watch Summer Vacation for next week's movie. Some people are like, oh, Summer Vacation, that's good. No, that's not the movie to watch.
To clarify,
Yeah.
you don't have to watch a movie.
Yeah.
By Rent or Burn.
But summer school? No, not summer school either.
Rent.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
No,
Bye,
you don't have to watch
Rent or Burn. Here we
Rent.
go.
You don't have to watch Rent.
Let him fly.
Chad Murphy in the message boards asks about Yip Man.
Oh, correctly, Ip Man.
Ip Man.
Oh, I have it YIP. Is it spelled
Yeah,
YIP?
it's Ip Man. I mean, Yip Man is how he's commonly, look, bottom line. Yip Man, as he was commonly referred to here, was Bruce Lee's mentor. He taught Bruce Lee. The movie about his life is called Ip Man, which is, depending on the dialect.
Is it an earn, ent, or I?
I'd say,
No,
I'd say,
No, you're gonna take away letters. I don't care.
Great.
I think it's good. I think if you love Hong Kong films, Donnie Yen is a longtime legend in Hong Kong cinema. Definitely a buy. They've already approved a sequel, which is on its way. And Ip Man is out on DVD and Blu-ray this week.
So you're giving it a buy. I'm giving
Buy.
it a rent.
Yeah.
All right. By the
really
way,
good.
in case you're new to the show, because now that we're an audio podcast and you can't see the cool graphics.
Ah,
line,
yes.
you guys on the message boards in the chat room, since we're live, call in, whatever, name a DVD, and we will tell you if you should buy, rent, or burn.
Yeah,
And by
buy it,
burn,
man.
of course, we mean throw in the garbage. That's what burn, it means throw in the fireplace. That's what burn means, set it on fire. Burn. Okay, message boards, wink. Message boards, we're talking a movie Revolt, who I believe might be new on the message boards. Frost Nixon.
I like that a lot. I saw Frost Nixon on Broadway. By the way, the only time on Broadway I actually had third row seats. I was very excited.
Nice.
Same cast, Frank Langella and Michael Sheen. And so I
Nice.
saw it on Broadway and I loved it, and I also loved the movie. I would buy it.
I like the movie a lot. I think Frank Langella is terrific, awesome, amazing. I'm not sure that I'd necessarily want to see it again. It feels like it pulls its punches as a movie. The performance amazing, so I'm going to go with a rent.
Go.
Spar 07, the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Buy.
I want to see. I want to see how
Best-
I want to see J-Mac and the TriCaster how he fits this.
Crazy Buy, best
Wait a
film of its
minute.
year.
The Assassination Ford.
And so beautifully shot.
Unbelievably awesome movie. That was the
Yeah.
best film of that year.
Well-
and Warner Brothers put it on the shelf for a year because they didn't understand it. Barry Meyer thought it was too long. Screw them all. That movie rocks. It's amazing.
Very true. I'll say bye.
All right. From Spar 07 message boards. Oh, that was him. Sorry, from Chinokin, Dave Chappelle's Block Party.
You know, Dave Chappelle, he had his moment. It was funny, and then he freaked out and went to Africa, and now no one cares.
I feel like that should have been about a half-hour show, not a big theatrical movie thing. Rent. Dave Chappelle's funny in enough bits, but
Rent.
I don't know. That's yeah.
All right. Let's go to the live chat room. Remember, you can always watch this live if you're not watching it now. Feel free to come in anytime on a Thursday, 8 o'clock, and we're here. Chat room, Tejas74, Hot Stuff from 1979.
Oh my gosh.
That's one of those, like, that's the like the teen
Like
comedy.
Screwballs
Yeah.
and Hot Dog and all that. It
All
comes
those,
from that.
yes.
Yeah.
Burn it all.
Burn.
Burn that and burn Hot Dog.
What? But back when HBO started in 82, 83, that was the only thing to watch.
I know, it's true.
Right? It was Hot Dog movies, Ski
Yeah.
School, Private Lessons.
Yeah, right.
That was HBO.
No, but the thing is that in Los Angeles we had the Z Channel.
Oh,
the Z
yeah.
Channel had all the great movies.
And the documentary about Z Channel is better than anything that ever even showed on Z Channel.
Now
What a phenomenal
I saw
documentary.
the Z Channel documentary in Cannes.
By Zan Cassavetes,
Who was
John
there? Who
Cassavetes'
was there in
daughter.
the audience, and
Yeah.
as well as Quentin Tarantino was there also in the audience because he grew up with the Z Channel.
Z Channel, An Unnatural Obsession, is
All
that
right.
the yeah.
Nightmare 54 asked about My Life in Ruins.
Just burn, 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 burn. All this horrible. Yeah, My Life in Ruins. It's Nia Vardalos and
Oh, yeah, that's
more
right,
of her
burn it.
horrible,
Burn it.
horrible obsessions with being. No.
There is Airbender, don't forget.
Huh?
We do have in case it's worse than a burn, we
Yeah.
take the worst movie of the
I don't
year.
wanna be
Right
that-
now, The Last Airbender.
Nah,
I don't want to be that mean.
Okay.
It's just I'm tired of Nia Vardalos thinking that she's like every woman.
Lady Diode asks about What a Way to Go.
Ooh. What a way to go.
What a way to go.
What a way to go. That's old.
Like 68, I think.
Yeah. Oh. I'm trying to fill in the cast.
Gene Kelly, Shirley MacLaine keeps marrying.
That's right. I'm gonna say bye on that one actually. That's really actually a fun movie. Gosh, that's one right from the art. Well done, Diode.
Well done, Lady
Digging 'em
Diode.
up
I'll
from-
say Rent.
And Elaine Ewing.
And
who knew it was a
Elaine,
movie
well done,
before you
Elaine,
guys.
for calling it on that one.
that,
Gosh,
Elaine, ladies and
yeah.
All right. From the chat room still, Jamal Fox asked about The Big Chill.
I
We
like
gotta buy that. It's Big
You
Chill.
know what? I like it more now than I did at the time. I didn't appreciate it because I was probably too young at the time. I want to say bye.
Yeah, you gotta buy that.
Yeah.
All right. MJ.
William Hurt.
MJ
That's true.
2346.
Kevin Costner, sort of. Sort of Kevin Costner.
No, MJ 2346, not Kevin Costner.
Okay. We were saying Kevin
Yeah,
Costner
I
in The
know,
Big
I
Chill
know,
because he
I
was
know.
the dead guy. But anyway.
Half Nelson.
I like the movie a lot. And you know what? I also like, I'll say Rent It because I don't know if you want to own it. I'll say Rent It. But I like their next film too, which was Sugar.
I like Sugar a lot better. I have problems with Half Nelson. I have problems with there's this endless stream of movies, these indie movies about people who are addicted to heroin or who are alcoholics, and the movies are all just about how they manage to be functional and addicts at the same time, and I'm tired of it.
You know why?
So I'm
'Cause
going to say Rent just because he's so good in it, but
it cuts too close to home. Really,
it's
is what
just,
you're
yeah, it does
That
actually,
kind of
because
story.
I am wired here on the show. When you have to host a show with this guy, I'm telling you.
All bets are off.
Heroin, meth, nothing touches it.
And from he, Phase 4 or IV. Phase 4. 1974.
Phase 4. They're trying to stump us now.
It's a German movie, I think, and it was remade
German
in
movie.
2001 also. Phase 4.
Phase 4 is a German
Phase
movie.
With those,
What was the original
is
German
it with
movie
Gene
name?
Kelly?
Phase 4.
Well, how do you say it in German?
Who's in?
Phase 4. Phase 4.
Who
Can
directed
we have a
it?
director on that?
Can we have a director on that, Mahi? Let's get back to that. Let's go Pooposterous and wait for Mahi to tell us the director. Pooposterous asks the number 23.
Oh, no.
Burn.
Burn it.
This is really a
Burning.
waste.
Okay, let's go back to Phase 4. Mahi. He wrote ants. I don't think that's. I don't know what that means.
Ants?
There's other stuff going on in the chat.
Like
room.
a whole
I'm not aware.
avant-garde thing that we're going into now.
Antonioni directed that?
It's not a German movie. Well,
Who-
what is it?
Phase 4.
Don't we all have IMDb?
Directed by Saul Bass.
Saul Bass.
There.
Oh, jeez.
Okay,
jeez.
look at
Now,
Mark's
Saul
reaction.
Bass was a legendary
graphic designer.
artist, yeah.
Saul Bass did a lot of the early he did a lot of dream sequences in Hitchcock movies and a lot of title sequences for Bond films and other things. And I think some of the most famous graphic sequences, like in Charade. I think he did Charade as
yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah.
Very famous graphic artist. A lot of Oscar posters. As a filmmaker, he blows. He really does.
There really is a difference. Can you tell a story? Can you build characters?
Wow,
and
this
tension?
guy does killer posters. Let's give him a movie to make. Ah!
It all makes sense.
Yeah, no, I can't pass judgment because I honestly I don't know that I've ever seen Phase 4, but I can't imagine Saul Bass ever doing much that's really worthwhile.
So
Might be kind of a kitsch factor to
Now,
it, but
here's the thing. Are we required to give a buy, rent, or burn for a film that we probably, to the best of my knowledge, either haven't seen or saw so long ago?
We have never.
I don't remember.
I don't
what
think there's
I
ever
thought
been a
of it.
movie in 27 episodes, and you're talking 10 to 12, so you're talking 300 buy, rent, or burns that you guys haven't seen. So I'd say go by the director. I mean, I always know if I like the director, I'm going to see his film. So
Yeah,
you're
like
saying,
I love The Sixth Sense. That guy's great. I wonder if he'll do. I love Star Wars. George Lucas should make more of those.
I'm trying to recall. Saul Bass had a dispute about a movie that he
Why don't we
claimed
just do?
he
Let's
directed
do the game.
part
Let's
of.
do
What was
let's do
that?
$25,000 pyramid. Pass.
Pass.
I don't have a Chiron for I'm going to make a passport.
Pass. All right, so there you go. So, all right, so there you go, folks. That was Buy, Rent, or Burn. Whoa. Okay,
Before you wrap up, I guess I'll give my little spiel because you always forget me. And we cut to the cards. I'm like, whoa, wait. So why don't I just do it first? We are now on iTunes Audio. We're on iTunes Video. Please subscribe. You can go to stupidformovies.com. You'll see iTunes. You can click on that for the video. You can also go to the iTunes Store, search Stupid for Movies, and it will say audio version. There's your audio version for those stuck in 2008.
And this is no longer the only show that takes place in
This
this
is no longer
space.
obviously the only show. It is Stripped Down Live with Kurt Smith is our second show. That you can also get on stripdownlive.com. We're going to put it all on one big network, I'll say studio. Streaminggarage.com will happen very soon in the next week or so. And then we got like 3 or 4 more shows coming up from this, all entertainment-based, all what I like to say TV on the web. Very
nice,
very well done, very well produced, amazing crew as always. With the TriCaster, we can actually do professional TV-looking things on the web, and this is the future.
There's the TriCaster. Look at that.
Yeah.
Buttons blinking and going and whatever it is that buttons do. Look at that. All right, so there you go, Wade. There is no show next week.
What? No.
No show next week. So, Wade, say goodbye to the good folks.
Goodbye to the good folks.